Blockchain, crypto, NFTs, DeFi, metaverse, Web3 is literally eating the world, and community builders are the new leaders. Hi everyone, I'm Bilal and Laszlo, co-founder of Pyratz Lab, a startup studio fully dedicated to Web3 startups. In Pyratz Land, I'll give the mic to Web3 builders, founders, and investors so that we can deep dive with them into what is truly about Web3 entrepreneurship. No conventional bullshit, only creativity, rebellion, and community-driven insights. All right, hello there. Welcome everyone to this new podcast. Today I am super proud to have Szabo with me. Laszlo is probably my oldest friend in Web3. Now we're just friends, but still my oldest friend in Web3. I think in this podcast we can tell the story when we met.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, please do.
Szabo is the co-founder and CEO of Kiln Finance, and he's going to tell us a little bit more. But before we dive into Kiln, Laszlo, can you please introduce yourself? Tell us, where did you grow up?
Yep. So I grew up in Paris. Coming from an entrepreneurial family, then launched my first company in Marseille in 2015, and launched my first company in crypto in 2018 when we met at Station F.
So you grew up in Marseille?
Yep. No. So I grew up in Paris.
Okay.
But because I had family in Marseille,
okay.
I would go in the south every month,
Nice.
a year. I would go a month a year every year. And then I launched a company in 2015 with friend of mine in Marseille.
What was that about?
So we were launching a tech recruitment company.
Okay.
Would hire engineers for other startups for them to scale. So that's also kind of my expertise, is just to have the best engineers out there.
Okay.
So you can build great products.
Like sourcing talents.
So sourcing talent, yeah.
Key. And tell us a little bit more about your journey. How did Kiln Finance evolve throughout since 2018?
Right. Yeah, I mean, when we met, I just wanted to be in crypto. I've heard about Bitcoin in 2014 because at the time I was doing a hospitality school, so nothing related to tech or crypto. And I met a guy called Adam Tredman. He launched at the time one of the largest Bitcoin wallets. It's called BRD wallet. But I was in Tokyo and in a nightclub, and I met this guy, and he explained to me about Bitcoin. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Right? It's like this guy is a scam. Maybe I shouldn't listen to him, and I kind of did. So I bought my first Bitcoin, and then I discovered Ethereum in 2016 because I had a friend working at Consensys, which was the largest company building on Ethereum at the time, and I was like, wow, this is really exciting. So I invested in Ethereum as well. Then the price exploded in 2017. That was the ICO period, the ICO boom, and I was back in Marseille building my tech recruitment company. So at the time I was like, okay, recruitment is great, but if you want to build a product, what would be the technology or the space, the industry you would like to be in? And crypto was like, or blockchain, crypto, as you would say back then, was so exciting. So that's when I decided to join the space full time, because I came from the HR background, recruitments. I was trying to mix blockchain and Ethereum with recruitment, with HR. So I was like, let's validate that you have been to ESCP, for example, or that you worked for Accenture. Decentralized identity in the professional space, decentralized CV, if you will. So I explained that to Pôle Emploi, for French people, and they didn't get it. A wallet on Ethereum where you would validate your background, it was maybe a bit early in 2018. What was Web3, right? Like, what the fuck is this? And so we pivoted, as like many company back then in the space. And we did then. I think we did some proof of concept for other groups, large startups, or even large groups in France. Security token. You came from this background, supply chain, and at some point I was like, okay, if you want to do a product in blockchains, you maybe just need to start with the infrastructure layer, because all these proof of concept, they wouldn't scale, right? It was much easier to use centralized databases in 2018-19 than uses blockchain, and one of the reasons is that the infrastructure layer was not even there. So that's what we launched in 2019. Was like a node as a service platform, because for those who would know, nodes are actually the gateway for you to access blockchains. So yeah.
All right, super interesting. So node as a service for Kiln Finance. Before we dive again in Kiln, you mentioned your parents that are entrepreneurs.
Yep.
Do you think they were your first mentors? And who else kind of paved your entrepreneurial spirit?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, my father is an entrepreneur, so he kind of like taught me you can have bad grades at school, but if you still success your company, you know, it's going to be all right. Which actually I did. I had very bad grades, but now it's been okay. And you know, my grandfather was really successful entrepreneur. Obviously, that was with the great values, so that was a good mentor. And then I guess when I arrived, I mean, I went back to Paris from Marseille in 2018, just like seeing so many other entrepreneurs around me in crypto. Antoine Scalia from Crypto, the Atka boys, that's of course you know, and the others, right? Just being at the same place at Station F with all these other entrepreneurs in crypto made me feel better and kind of like taught me a lot of things.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Yeah, I remember that time. I mean, okay, we can tell the story now. So basically, I was introduced to Laszlo through a common friend of his sister, and we met. I don't know, early 2018 or summer 2018, and I was still working as a consultant. He was like just beginning at Station F with the crew, and he was basically the first guy I ever pitched.
Exactly right. Yeah.
And looking back at it, it's a lot of nostalgia because we clearly didn't know what we were saying or doing. I remember even one time Laszlo arrived at Station F and he's like, "Jude, we fucked up. We put the private key in the smart contract." You remember this one?
Yeah, of course.
So it was pretty fun, and ever since we became friends.
I mean, I remember seeing you. So we were at the cafe at Station F, and you would pitch me EquiSafe back then, and I didn't know well what security token was about. So frankly, your pitch was like terrible. It's like so fucking complicated. I couldn't understand the fucking shit. But I was like, okay, but this seems smart. This guy has so much energy. I'm sure we'll do it. I'm sure we'll make it, and you did.
Thanks, man. Let's get back to Kiln. So tell us a little bit more about your positioning in the space side. I understood you have kind of a B2B2C approach.
Yeah, so first, we are right now, at least, a B2B company in staking, right? We provide staking products, even aggregation product, I will come back to it, to institutions. And there's two kinds of, first of all, what is staking, right? Staking is the safest yields in crypto right now on all the proof of stake network. It's also a much better way, much more efficient, much more secure way to validate transaction on blockchains compared to proof of work. Bitcoin was proof of work, Ethereum was proof of work, and Ethereum moved from proof of work to proof of stake just because it's a better way, much more efficient way to validate transaction. So by validating this transaction, by bonding, by staking your assets, ETH, Solana, Polkadot, and so forth, you are able to get a reward in exchange. So that's what we offer to exchanges, custodians, and wallets, so that themselves, they can offer that to their users. So, for example, we work with Binance. We will deploy the infrastructure for Binance to offer staking to the users. Someone on the Binance dashboard just click, stake. In the backend, it's our validators, it's our APIs, it's our connections to custodians and so forth. And the Binance user will start to earn ETH or Solana via staking, basically. And we do that with Ledger on the hardware wallet category. We work also with Ledger Enterprise or even BitGo, other large custodians. These are B2B2B. Ledger is more B2B2C. BitGo is more B2B2B. So we do everything institutional, but at the end of the channel, it could be you, me, retails, or institutions. Yeah. So that's kind of our customers and how we operate. And then we run validators, because to stake and validate transaction, you have to run validators. But that's only one fourth of our product. We have what we call aggregation layers, right? So today, all the institutions to secure crypto, they use custodians, right? So BitGo, Fireblocks, Copper, Anchorage, Paxos, Ledger Enterprise. Some of you might not know these companies, but that actually they are the new decentralized bank, if you will, of crypto, depending obviously on the technology. So we integrate to these custodians so that these institutions can stake securely, have the right data. It's really complex to get the correct data in staking. And we offer that to our users. So that means like when you are on Binance, you stake to show you how much you're earning of ETH or Solana every block, because staking is a yield that you earn every block. It's really complex. So we connect to custodians, show the right data on 10 or 15 different protocols. And it's validator agnostic. So we have our own validator, but some of our customers using one or two or three staking provider or validator, if you will. And our aggregation stack basically help them to work with other providers easily.
Interesting.
So that's what we do, yeah. And we do the same on Ethereum. We have a product called On-Chain. It's quite complex to stake on ETH, only batches of 32 ETH, not any amounts. The rewards go 100% to one wallet. We make that super easy to stake any amount, to dispatch the commission, so that a ledger or us or the customer can take a commission on the yield of staking. I hope I didn't lose you anyway.
No, absolutely not. And how far did you grow? Can you share some KPIs about the company?
Yeah, of course. So right now we are the largest institutional staking company in Europe.
Nice.
We have around $600 million worth of AUM, asset under management. I think we'll pass 1 billion in the next few weeks, because we're deploying some of very large customer as I speak. Last year we're at 1.2 billion, and the goal is to be the largest yield company, not only staking, because we think we could also provide some DeFi products to our customers in the future, but to be the largest yield company in the world, maybe in 2-3 years. And we are 40 people across 5 countries right now. Only in Europe. We'll be in the US as well end of the year. And yeah, I guess that's it.
Amazing, really impressive. Would you say that you have a community?
Yeah. So for example, in end of March, there's Paris Blockchain Week,
Yeah.
and we have 2 type of communities, right? Or 3 types, let's say, or 3 types of categories in our communities. We have the integrators, so the wallets, the custodians, the exchanges, right? We work with some of the institutions on top of the stack, crypto funds, crypto hedge funds, but they usually use an exchange or a custodian or wallet. So we prefer to work directly with these guys and to work indirectly with the top of funnel. So that's one, integrators. Then we have the node operators, right? Because we work with some of our competitors on the node operator side. And the last part is obviously the protocols. we have to work with Tezos Foundation, we have to work with Sui Foundation or Aptos to deploy their protocol and make it better. Yeah.
Okay. Can you share some hints on how did you grow so fast? Who were your the main people who helped you among your investors, for example, or?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I don't think I grew really fast, right? It's been 5 years I'm in the space. It was really hard for both of us.
True.
2018, 2019, 2020. That was super hard. So I just like to give some hope to some of other Web3 entrepreneurs. We are in bear markets. Don't be depressed. Don't stop overnight to work on ChatGPT. Just
We've been there.
We've been there. Keep going. Web3 is going to be a thing. Crypto is going to be a thing. No worries. Just be bullish. So that's first. Second, obviously, I guess at some point you try so many things. At some point you have to succeed, right? You have to find the right product for the right customers in the space. So that's what we did. We iterated so many times on so many different products, and at some point we found our market, the product market fit, and then just the network. I think either learning from others, or I think I just did a PhD and an MBA at the same time for 5 years, right? Just learning about all of the people. So and even now, like I know a lot of people on the integrated part, on the validated part, and on the protocol part. Just because we've been in the space together for so long, trying to network, trying to meet people, trying to understand what they do, ask questions. So yeah, having a great network and being open to discussion is I think crucial in the space.
You recently announced a 17 million fundraising. What is going to be the use of the funds, and can you describe your fundraising experience?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we raised at the beginning of the year. So we couldn't raise. I knew 2020, like 2022 was going to be bloody. I mean, if you've seen a bear market, if you've seen one or two bear market, like you knew that was coming for sure. But we couldn't raise in December because I remember having a discussion. Oh, we should raise now, blah blah blah. But we didn't have the products. We don't have like the exact message to send to investors to raise a ton of money, or at least at the appropriate valuation. Then we kind of launched the raise before summer, and I was like going to conferences, and at some point I was like, okay, I was about to go to Austin with my team, and no, let's go back in Paris and let's get this shit done, right? Because that's really bloody. You've seen interest rate increasing, and so then just I stay here in the office and for months and a half, just did this full time, 7 days a week, 15 hours a day. And I spoke to maybe 150 investors. So like across all regions in the world, classic, Europe, US, Asia. And at some point we kind of like had a lead, the right one. We had different options, but like we had one lead, the right one, and then a lot of our partners, right? Consensys is part of the round. Kraken is part of the round. GSR, XBTO, the one that knows these market makers. We actually Fidelity Investments.
And who led your fundraising?
Illuminate Financial.
Tell us more about those.
Yep. So they are a fintech VC, but they invested. I mean, the way I see crypto VCs, right? I think there's different categories in crypto today. Someone that is doing NFT or play and earn or B2B crypto or even DeFi. These are not the same investors forcibly, right? Or they don't have the same thesis in crypto. And Illuminate just had a very good thesis on B2B crypto, everything infrastructure, everything B2B SaaS in crypto, 5blocks, Chainalysis, these guys. And they invest in 10 different companies. They invest in fintech companies, but they also invest in 10 different B2B crypto SaaS companies. such as Talos, or such as Nota Bene, or such as Tesseract. So it was quite evident that they really knew how to do introductions to other B2B companies that we could work or partner with, how they could structure the right board and so forth. So yeah, and they are they are in London, they are in New York, because we will move in New York before the end of the year, having someone at the board that is in the US explaining us the US market, which is still the largest crypto market today in the world, was crucial. So yeah, we were super happy to have them.
Super, super interesting. Thanks for sharing. Let's get back to you now. I'd like to explore more of your founder's path. Okay. What did you find hard as a Web3 founder? Maybe during the 3 first years that where we went through the desert.
Yeah, I guess there's so many things, right? But if you want to summarize them, first, it's finding your market. In bear markets, complicated because nobody has money.
A lot of defiance.
Sorry, you said?
A lot of defiance.
A lot of defiance. You're just wondering, like, what should I do? Is it still a market? Is it still going to work one day? But actually, it's also the best time to get the attention of these customers, these potential customers that will use your product, because they are not distracted, right? In bull market, everything goes well, so you also have a lot of noise. People are really distracted, and it's not really good for your product market fit, I think. Bear market are much harder, but they are much better for UPMF. That's one. Second, obviously, it's money, right? First is like right vision, right product, PMF. Then it's money. Like, do people invest in you in bear market? No. At least 2018, 2019 was even worse than now, because now you have a lot of VCs in crypto that even raise a lot of funds during bull market, and they still have to deploy these funds. Back then, remember, like, that was a fucking nightmare. Like, you would come to a VC in Paris, and they would say, no, but blockchain, that's never going to work. Like, why are you even still working on blockchain?
But they were still getting pitched, and then they were like, no.
Exactly right. So yes, NFTs. What was NFTs in 2018? Or so that was hard. I remember that was super, super, super hard. And then in bear market, it was also hard to, I don't know if you remember that, but to motivate some of your team members. I remember we had 12 developers working on a project, and overnight I had 3 of them or 4, because all the others like, no, blockchain is never going to work. I want to work in AI, or I want to work in something that fucking works, right? It's like, and so I guess that was complicated.
It's hard to keep the people, yeah.
But once you have passed through a beer, or once you just tell you that it's going to be better in 1 year or 1 year and a half, you just keep going, I guess.
Yeah, you need to have like this naive confidence.
You're right.
Keep working, keep pushing. What would you recommend as a good source of information, both for entrepreneurs or to discover Web3? Is there some newsletter you follow, some special podcast you listen?
Yeah, I mean, one of the OG podcasts, actually, I'm pretty sure you know Sébastien Couture, right?
Yeah.
He's a French guy. His podcast is called Epicenter.tv, Epicenter. That's really great. He was actually yesterday in the office, and there's a lot of very good content from Web3 founders there. Second is, like, I'm a Ethereum maximalist, so Bankless is a very good one. Yeah. If you like Ethereum, if you don't like Ethereum, don't listen to Bankless. And then, I guess the latest book of Vitalik is quite good. History of Proof of Stake or something like that. That's good. And then Andreessen Horowitz, S16D Crypto School, Crypto Glossary. There's a lot of good content there. And the Blockchain Business School. Have you heard about that? That's a thing, and I think that's the next big thing.
A couple of days ago. Yeah, thanks, bro. What are your daily routines? Do you still come to the office by bike or?
No, because now I'm living just very close to the
Ah,
office,
okay,
right? Yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah.
You finally moved.
Yeah, usually it's the for those like it's the main reason for office location is where the CEO lives. So so yeah, I live very close to the office, but I meditate every day.
Okay.
Keeps
How
you.
long? When at night, in the morning,
It
at
could be
noon?
it's usually every morning for sure, but it could be like two times a day if I I had like um, big deal or entrepreneurship is like a roller coaster. So if you have a bad day and you still thinking and you cannot go basically to sleep, you have too many ideas in your
Yeah.
head. Just meditate and keeps it helps me to sleep, I guess. Yeah, a bit of sports. I should do more sports and just traveling, right?
Me too.
We were working as like dogs for the past 3, 4 years. Now I told myself this year because like, okay, now the company grew. I have many people, on.
Told
Uh,
myself the same.
what did say?
I told myself the same.
Yeah, man.
I
Let's
said
let's
this
let's
year I'm gonna
travel,
take some
right?
holidays.
Let's take some holidays. I'm going to Brazil in Carnival, maybe with you. I don't know, but
Let's plan it.
yeah, it's good to work, but it's also good to rest sometimes.
But let's get back to your daily routines. What's
Yeah,
your
yeah,
daily
yeah.
routines except meditating?
So meditating, I would listen to podcasts as well. In the morning and at night, I will read more and more for several reasons. First of all, I need to like 30 minutes or an hour to get back or get out of my computer to sleep better, and also it helps me think about other things, dream. The fact of reading a book helps me dream better.
Interesting.
So yeah,
I haven't been dreaming for the past like 2 or 3 years.
man, me too, right? And I
Crazy.
started back reading like in 6, 8 months, and
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 now you dream
suddenly I was like,
again?
sorry,
And now you dream again?
and I dream again,
Oh
man.
my God, I'm
You
gonna
know,
read.
man, I dream about like so many good things. The blockchain business school and
Stop it there, right there.
yeah.
Who are the main people you follow on Twitter?
Georgios Paradigm.
Okay.
You should definitely all the Paradigm guys. They're really good. It's not only Ethereum. It's like multi-chains. It's really technical, I have to say, but they have obviously Vitalik. Still good to follow. He's a good writer as well. I'd love Michael. I mean, in the B2B space, all the CEO of the large custodians, Michael Shulov, Dimitri at Copper, these guys. And then, who else?
Sorry.
Bilal, Alalami.
um, how would you describe your work-life balance?
Frankly, like it was terrible for quite a long time. But I'm starting to work on it. I'm starting to work on it. Now, for example, there's a rule I don't. I try to follow as I don't. I left the office at 7:38 or 8:30 maximum. Doesn't mean that I'm not working when I'm home, but it means like I can do other things at home, right? I can maybe plan my vacation or think I should buy a new apartment or stuff like that. So I don't work all the time. Whereas like before, frankly, I was in the office until midnight or 1 o'clock,
Never stopping.
and never stopping. Yeah, yeah. Because you think as an entrepreneur, you think why take vacations? My only goal is to get my company to success. So everything that I should do when I just wake up is actually about or around that. But sometimes it just becomes counterproductive. So yeah.
You just talked about success. How would you describe success?
Oh man, that's hard. Um, I don't know. I guess first, being close to your friends, family, being respected by them and loved, and then I don't know professionally. I guess I mean, I like to be impactful, right? I like to do cool things, be impactful in some ways. That's why I think staking and crypto yield is a good way to be impactful in so many ways. But there's other ideas I might launch in the future. such as you, right? You launch many ideas in the crypto space. Maybe you would be doing other things in other industry in the future. So I guess, yeah, just impact. So my way of thinking how to be in fact impactful, for example, is like, okay, if you want to do one thing in one category of in crypto, just be the first, right? That's a good way to be impactful. But then, yeah, there might be other ways to be successful, or you could be even impactful in your community or in your space. You don't have to be, the worldwide leader, but I don't know. When you have been kind of a competitor, when you did sport, you were a kid, just like being the first is this challenge is also very exciting. So I guess, yeah, that's how I would define success.
All right, I think we've brought it out, man. Thank you
Cheers, man.
very much for your welcome in those magnificent office where we kind of all started.
Right.
Thank you, bro. It was good to have you.
Cheers.
And subscribe to our podcasts and talk to you very soon.